welcome back. So in today's tutorial, we will be looking on one more important concept in JavaScript, which will help you out in coding on ServiceNow platform. That is JavaScript functions. Okay. So what is JavaScript function? A function is a block of code that performs a specific task. Suppose you need to create a program to create a circle and color it. You can create two functions to solve this problem. A function to draw a circle and then a function to color the circle. Dividing a complex program into smaller chunks makes the program easy to understand and make it reusable also. So for today's tutorial, I'll be using ServiceNow as the editor and executor also. Okay. So for editing and writing the code, I'll be using FixScript because it will help me out to format the code. And to execute the code, I will be using Explore. Okay. So I will create a new, I will use it as editor. So I will be going through from the basic to the advanced level, okay, in this tutorial, okay, so that you will get a complete understanding what the function is. So this is my personal instance. This is a FixScript, and I have opened the Explore also. I've opened, but it didn't open till now. Okay, this is where we will execute the code. So let's get started. I will just make the window. So first of all, how we can declare a function? Okay, so the syntax for declaring function is function. Okay, sorry, I will just zoom out somewhat. So the syntax is function, then whatever function name you want to give, right? So we can give name of function. Okay, then we have to give the round braces, open and close round braces, and then curly braces. This is the syntax of function. A function is declared using a function keyword. Okay, the basic rule of naming a function are similar to naming of a variable. It's better to write a descriptive name for your function. Okay, for example, if a function is used to add two numbers, you can name it as add numbers. Okay, so that it will be helpful in the future perspective to understand why this particular function is written. Okay, the body of the function is written within the curly braces, as you can see on my screen. I can zoom out somewhat. As you can see on the screen, I generally prefer using camel case. Okay, just to differentiate the components of the function name. Okay, so let's get started with writing some basic functions. So for example, if I want to create a function called greet, okay, so I will create a function. I will give it a name as greet. Okay, and it will greet the people. Okay, whenever we call this function, it will greet. So we can give gs.info, and I will give a good morning. Or you can give whatever you want. So this is how we can write a function. But if I execute this function out, okay, if I go on Explore and if I try to execute it out, it will not return anything out. Okay, why? Because we have just defined the function, but we didn't call that function. Okay, so how we can call the function? So the calling of the function we can do simply, we have to take the name of the function and the round braces, which will specify that we are calling this function out now. Okay, so now if I take this up and if I execute it out now, then it should give me the info message. Okay, so now if I execute, now you can see the message good morning got print on the console. Okay, now we will go to the next step. I hope you got how we can define a function and how we can call a function. Now we will see how we can pass an attribute to the function. There will be really rare chances that you want to have a function which is working as standalone, that it doesn't have any dependency on the outer world, right? Like for example, the function you can see on the screen, that is good morning. What will be the scenarios where you will be just printing good morning on the console or any message on the console? Very rarely, right? And if so, also we don't need a separate function for that. So for example, we will modify this function out only, okay, and we want to create a function which will say good morning to whatever user we pass to the function. Okay, we want to make it dynamic. So what we can do, in the round brace we can pass an attribute. Okay, for example, I will give name. Okay, and then you can append, you can use this particular attribute in your function to execute your business logic. So for example, I will make it pretty simple and I will just append the name over here. So I want, if I am passing name as Amit, so it will be like good morning Amit. Okay, so let's try it out. So we will execute in the similar way, and now I will just pass my name as Amit. Okay, and I will copy this out, and let's try if it works as expected. So if I run this out now, it gives the message good morning Amit. It's good, right? Okay, now the next question, we will go to one more level, right? Now what will be the chances, right, that you just want to print some message only? Okay, what if you want to create some business logic, or you want to perform some business logic or arithmetic progressions on the function, right? You can achieve that also. So for example, you want to create a function which will do the multiplication of two numbers or addition of two numbers. Just I'm giving a simple example, and based on your concept or based on your requirement, you can make it complex. Okay, so for example, if you want to have a function where we want to add two numbers, so we can simply do function. Okay, not function, it's function, and we can give add numbers. Okay, and we will give two attribute. Okay, we can give number one, comma number two. Okay, this will be two attributes, and we want to just sum those numbers out. Okay, so if I give it like this, like number one plus number two, will it work? Ideally, from the above example, it should work, right? Let's give it a try. So if I do now add numbers, okay, and if I pass two numbers, 3 and 5, okay, and if I try to execute this function, so ideally from the above example, it should give me 8 as output, right? So let's see. So if I put it over here, and execute the function now, okay, now the function got executed without any error, right? But we can see that the output we didn't get. Okay, the reason for this is like whenever you do any logic writing, right? Whenever you write a business logic, okay, the thing, if you want to give output to that particular function, you have to write the attribute, you have to write prefix, okay, we can say as return. So what return will do, it will return the output to the outside world. Okay, so if I execute the function now, let's see if we get the output. Okay, so I will run, and now you can see we got an output as 8. Okay, so what is the advantages of function? Okay, now we have written the code only once to add two numbers. So if you have a scenario where we want to use the same logic again and again, right? For example, we can do add number 3 and 5. Again, on the next line, I can give 1 and 3 and 6. Okay, and that's it. Okay, I don't want to write the code again and again. Okay, so for example, if I take this also and I will append over there, so it will give a different output for each execution. Okay, so I didn't it's happening because I didn't print it out. Okay, just a second. So I will do js.info 5 and 6, and I will do, and I will do 6. Okay, so if I run now, so it will give two different output, 8 and 9. I don't have to write function again and again. So let's see what are the different, what are some of the benefits of function. So function makes the code reusable. You can declare it once and use it multiple times. Okay, the function makes the program easier as each small task is divided into a function. Okay, and function also increase the readability of your code, right? Okay, So moving to the next level. Now, if I want, now we have passes separate attributes, right? There may be a possibility that uh, you have a long set of attributes, okay, or you want to pass an object, or you can call it like glide object, glide record, okay. Then is it possible? Yes, it's also possible. Okay. So for example, if I have a function, if I have a JSON, so I will give variable uh, student, okay, and we have a JSON object for the student, okay. So for example, we can give name. I will give Amit, okay, and we can give age. We can give 28. What else? I can give address. It will be Pune, okay, and so on. So it's not possible, right, for us to, if we want to pass this as a attributes, okay, to the function, okay, to execute some logics. For example, I want to give an info message that my name is Amit, my age is this, I'm living at Pune, okay. So it's not possible to do this in passing each and every attribute separately. In this kind of example, we can pass an object also to the function. So what we can do, we can write a function called student detail, okay, details, okay, which will consume an attribute, okay, and or object, we can say student, okay, and what it will do, it will simply give all the information packs, okay. So I can simply give return, okay, and I will give gs dot get message. If you are not familiar, this is just to create a dynamic string, okay. So we will give the message as my name is, I will give in curly braces 0. I will replace it out dynamically from the attribute. I am living in Pune. In the second attribute I will be used over here, okay, 1, and then and my age is, I will get it as third attribute, okay. I will give attribute 2, and then you can pass an array of attributes, okay. So I will be giving student, because it's a part of student object, right? So the student, first thing on the 0th attribute, what I want name, right? So it will be name, then student. In the second attribute, I want address, right? So I will do address, and the third attribute I want age, right? So I will give student dot age. It's capital, right? Okay. So that's it, okay. Now if I execute this function out, okay, it should give me, it should return the values, okay, the output. So I will go again to the console. I will remove this out, okay, and I will paste this out. And if I print this out now, so what I will do, gs.info, and I will give student details, and I will pass the student as an object, right? We have to pass the object, right? So if I execute it now, then it should give me all the details which are as a part of the string, right? So if I run it out now, so it gives n only. Why it gives n only? Just a second. gs.info student. Oh, I forgot to put a comma over here. Okay. So if I run it now, so it gave my name is Amit, I'm living in Pune, and my age is 28. Perfect. Now moving on to the next level. Now, can we manipulate? Right now we are just printing, or we are just giving as output. Okay, can we, is it possible, can we modify the object also when we are passing it to the function? Let's see the example for that also. So for example, I have a function, okay, okay, which for example change make, we will be passing a car object to this, okay, make, okay, and it will accept a car object, okay. And what I'm doing in this particular car object, for example, if there is an object called car, okay, it has an attribute called make, who has created that particular car, okay, who has made that particular car, and I want to just change the attribute of make, okay, for that car, okay. So what I will be doing, I will be doing car object dot make equal to, if I'm giving Toyota, okay. So what this function is doing, it's just changing the make of the car, okay, car object to Toyota, okay. So for example, I have a car object, for example, we can say this, okay. So the make is Honda, the model Accord, and year is 1998, okay. Now if I call this function out, okay, so will it manipulate the object or not, we have to see. So first of all, what we'll do, we'll just print the first, okay, we'll first check that out. So I will do my car, I will do ts.info just to verify whether it's getting changed or not, okay. We'll do my car dot make, okay, just to verify what the make is, okay. Then we will call this particular function out, change make, okay. So we'll call this function out, then change make, and we'll pass my car object to that, and again we will print the same to see whether the make got changed or not from that function. We just trying to see if the function can manipulate the data object or not, okay. So what we did, we created a function called change make, okay. We have an object, okay, of my car, okay, it has a make of Honda, then we printed the make Honda, okay, and then we call this function to change it from Honda to Toyota, and then we are again printing it out, so to see whether the data got manipulated or not, okay. Now let's run it out. So I will go over here, and if I run it out now, so you can see the first time the original one, okay, the make was Honda, then we call the function, it has manipulated this object, okay, and then the make was Toyota. Perfect. So the thing is that we can manipulate the data also, we can write a business logic to manipulate the data also, okay, in a function. Now the next thing, okay, and we can say the last thing, okay, can we call a function into function? Yes, we can call a function into function. So as I told, as a benefit of a function, okay, we can just break down the complex logic, okay, into smaller chunks, okay, so that it will increase the readability also and sustainability also, and we can also make it reusable, okay. So for example, I have a function, I have a requirement, okay, where I want to add the squares of two numbers, okay. So the input will be that there will be two numbers, we have to just square it out, okay, and then we have to add those numbers, okay. So how we can achieve that? So what we can do, first of all, we can make a function, okay, which will be add two numbers. So we will do function, okay, add numbers, okay. It has nothing to do with the square root and all that things, okay. It will have to add, it will take two attributes a and b, and what it will do, it will just return a plus b. That's it. Perfect, right? Okay. Now what we can do, we can create another function, okay, and we not function, it's function, and we can give it, this function will act for squaring of the number. Okay, so we can give square number. It will have only one attribute, a number. Okay, and what it will do, it will just return a into a. That means it's just squaring it out. Okay, now we can create a function. Now we have breakdown into two smaller chunks, right? Now we can create a function called add squares. Okay, add squares, and it will take two attributes. Okay, for example, a comma b. Okay, and what it will do, it will first square the number out, right? So what we'll be doing, variable a square, I'm just breaking it out, variable a square equal to function square, and it has attribute a. Okay, in the similar way we will have variable b square. Okay, and it will have a square of b. Then once we get the square, okay, then we can use a function called add numbers, right? We can use a function called add numbers, or we can simply return add numbers. Okay, and then instead of passing a and b, right, we'll directly passing a square of a and b. So a square comma b square, and it should resolve this problem. Okay, so now let's try to execute out. Then we will come again to this function, that why we did so much of logic, why we wrote this much of function. Okay, so we will take this up, we will execute it out. Okay, and I will just give ts.info what we want, add squares, right? So, and it will have two numbers. So what I will give, 5, 6. Okay, let's give 5, 6. Okay, now if I run this out, so let's see what the output we are getting. So we got an output as 61. Okay, it's like 36 plus 25, which is 61. Okay, so what it did, it took these two numbers, okay, as the input attributes. It just passed to the square function. Okay, from where it got a square of a first, then it got a square of b first. We didn't write the code again, right? We just reused the code. Okay, and then we called the function add numbers, and we just added the number. Now why we wrote this logic? Okay, first of all, as you can see from the screen, it's pretty readable, right? Okay, you can differentiate what functions are doing what. Okay, for example, if tomorrow instead of addition you get some multiplication, so you don't have to go everywhere and just change the code out. Okay, you can simply create a new function, okay, or new function for multiplication. Why I'm unable to copy? So you can simply create a new function called add. Instead of add, you can simply do multiply. Okay, multiply, and you have to just change some logic. Okay, whatever business logic you have to do, you have to just replace this function name with the multiply number function. Okay, and it will resolve all the things. You don't have to touch the business logic also. Plus, so if I run this now, okay, let's take this also. Okay, so that you will get a better understanding. So if I do this multiply, and I'm not changing this number for now. Okay, and if I run this now, see, that's it. It's that simple. Okay, plus if you want to use some addition, okay, addition logic somewhere. So you can use this function independently. If you want to have a multiply, you can use this function independently. If you want to have a square root somewhere, you can use this function independently. So you don't have to write function again, write this code again and again in your. This is just a basic information I'm giving, but when you come into real world, okay, this will be helpful while solving the complex problem. Now, one last thing I want to show you, that every time we are calling this function, like for example, if I want to call this square, so I have to just do square root and then I have to pass the number. Can we make it self-invoking? Yes, we can make it self-invoking also. What is self-invoking? That we don't have to call that function out. It will itself, whenever it comes to that particular point, it itself will call that function out. So what is the signature for that? So for example, I want to do variable divide. Okay, divide. Then what I can do, I can simply take a round braces first. Okay, in that I can do function. No need to give function name also. A round braces. Okay, then curly braces. Okay, enter. You can do. I'm doing, and again round braces at the bottom. So this is the signature of self-invoking function. Now how you can pass an attribute? You have to pass an attribute called a and b. Okay, the way you were doing for the function. Okay, a and b, and what it will do, it will divide, return a divided by a divided by b, right? This is what the output is. Now how we will pass this attribute values, right? Because we are not calling that function. You can pass this attributes values from here, from the bottom. So I can give 100 and I want to divide it by 2. So the a value will be replaced by 100 and the b value will be replaced by 2. Now you don't have to call the function like this. Okay, divide. No need of that. Okay, so this is also pretty useful. Okay, self-invoking function. So let's try to execute this out now. Okay, and we will. So I will remove this stuff out, and if I do gs.info and I have to divide and execute it. Now it should give 50 as an answer. So you can see the answer is 50. So this is all for today's tutorial. Okay, in today's tutorial I'll try to give you a basic understanding of function, how we can use the function and what is the power of function. Okay, so I just started from the basics and I tried to explain it to the higher part. After this, I've also created some tutorials on higher order functions, right? Okay, if you are clear with this function tutorial, then you can go and watch those videos where I was showing you some higher order functions like for each, filter, map, reduce. Okay, that will also help you out when you are coding into the live environment. Okay, hope you like this video. Okay, please like, follow, subscribe to get the latest update of my channel. Okay, till then, stay safe, stay happy, and have a nice day. Thank you.